All right, today I'm going to try to explain to you all of the different parts about the preterite tense. You will need a piece of paper to make a little study guide / graphic organizer. So go ahead and get out a piece of paper and a pencil, pause until you have that ready. So preterite, first of all, when do we use the preterite? We use the preterite when we want to talk about actions that have been completed in the past. I saw this, I went to this place, I did this, I ate this. We know our regular AR endings. We know our regular ER and IR endings. And you've seen some irregular ones before, but I have not explicitly taught those to you yet. All right, so here is what you mostly know so far. So go ahead and on your piece of paper, divide it into like 2/3 and 1/3. 2/3 is the top half, and then like the bottom third. The bottom third you're not going to touch today. The top 2/3 is what we're going to do. So you know preterite. There's also AR, and there's some irregulars there with Kargar's R. You know ER and IR, regular ones. And the irregular verbs that you've seen before are ser and ir and aser, but I'm going to go into detail on those in a little bit. Okay, so that's what you are aware of, but here's what actually exists. There's AR with the Kargar's R's, ER and IR, which do have some irregulars. There's the I shies, there's the E to I stem changers, there's the O to U stem changers, and then there's all of these as irregular verbs that have totally weird preterites. Now, before you panic, what are you expected to do with these verbs now in Spanish 2 and in the future? If you're taking Spanish 3 or Spanish in college, you should do your best to learn and retain these verbs. If you're stopping after Spanish 2, what you really need to show me, we're actually skipping this writing quiz. So really, you just have to worry about the childhood presentation, which is your final grade for next week. That's it. So how am I going to get to learn all of these by the end of school? So you're ready for Spanish 3? Well, there's a song, and there's also a graphic organizer I'm going to have you make to try to sort them out, keep them organized in your brain. And especially if you're going on to Spanish 3 next year, you can hold on to that graphic organizer over the summer. You have to be a little organized to do that, but then you will have that for Spanish 3 to pull out when you need to refer to it. So we're going to start with what we already know. We're going to write it down. We're going to build from there. We're going to add things till we've added everything you need to know. So start with a blank sheet of paper. Do not lose this sheet of paper. All right. So here's what I recommend. I think for this, you should actually put the line more like right here, like top 2/3 should be preterite, and then just leave a little bit for imperfect. All right. If you have the ability to color code, I would totally recommend that, like grab colored pencils or markers instead of just doing this in pencil. All right, so you're going to have the preterite, then like the top 2/3, and then the imperfect we're going to talk about a little bit later, not right now. Ways that you could color code. You could do like red is AR verbs, blue is ER and IR verbs, or red is the regulars, blue is the irregulars, whatever works for you. And if you don't have colors, that's okay too. You could add them later with the highlighter if you wanted to. All right, so let's start by in the center of the preterite top part, you're going to add the regular AR and the regular IR endings right in the middle. Okay, so for AR, you're going to add A, aste, O, amos, astes, aron. For ER and IR, you're going to add E, iste, io, imos, istes, ieron. Notice the accents over the E and the O, and over here over the I and the O. All right. Pause the video, get that down. Now you're going to add the irregulars to the AR. So we're stemming off of the AR. You've got Kargar's R. When it ends in car in just the O form, remember, it turns to QUE, gar turns to GUE, zar turns to CE. And they only happen in AR, so that's why we're putting them over here. All right, pause the video, get those down. So you remember Kargar's R? Remember in the yo form, and only the yo form, there's a spelling change, like gar changes to GUE, so it sounds like G. Car changes to QUE, so it sounds like K. And then the Z changes to a C. We don't really know why. All right, now we're going to add an irregular category to the ER-IR side, which is something you have not learned yet. This is brand new to you. E to I stem changers, okay? So here's what happens. So there's only irregulars in IR verbs. ER verbs don't have any irregulars, only if they're IRs. And remember how pedir what's this E to I stem changer? So E to I stem changers, they're normal in all of the forms except the bottom. So like pedí, pediste, pedimos, pedistes, no changes. But the E changes to an I in the LA usted form and in the ellos, ellas, ustedes form. So pidió, pidieron. So any verb that you learned as an E to I stem changer, back when we talked about stem changers a few months ago, in the past tense, in the preterite, they're going to change in just the bottom two forms. All right. So E to I stem changers change just in the bottom two forms. So go ahead and add this as an example of an E to I stem changer and pause the video till you're done adding that. All right, E to I stem changers. Remember some of those? We had pedir, we have servir, repetir, vestirse. Those are all E to I stem changers. And again, they'll be normal in these forms, and only the LA usted and the ellos, ellas, ustedes will have the E to I stem change in the past tense, the preterite tense. All right, now let's talk about O to U stem changers. There's another category here. O to U stem changers has the same thing. It's normal in these forms, but the O changes to a U in the bottom two, okay? Now, it was a O to UE in the present tense, remember duermo, duermes, but in the past tense, in the preterite tense, the O just changes to a U and only in these two forms. So it becomes durmió, durmieron. Pause and write that down. The good news is there are only two of these, dormir and morir. Dormir, to sleep, morir, to die. Those are the only two in all of Spanish that you have to remember are O to U stem changers in the preterite tense. All right, now we're going to add one more irregular category. These are called the I shies. You might remember me saying I shy back when we learned the yendo and the ando thing. So let me remind you what I shies are. I shies are verbs like creer. And again, these are going to be normal in these forms. The only weird thing is they all have accents. So creí, creíste with an accent, creímos with an accent, creístes with an accent. And then the I becomes shy. Remember when we talked about how when you have the I between vowels, it turns into a Y? So normally this would be C-R-E-I-O. But the I is going to become shy because it's between two vowels and change to a Y. So creyó, creyeron. Notice there's no I there, creyeron. The I becomes the Y, creyeron. Give you a second to write this down on your sheet. Pause the video. So I shy means the I in the verb gets shy when it's surrounded by other vowels, so it turns into a Y. So here you go, creyó, creyeron, with leer, leyó, leyeron. On these ones, the nosotros and the vosotros forms also get accents. There's an accent on the nosotros form, there's an accent on the tu form. So notice all these extra accents on the I shy verbs. All right, so now we have these irregular stem that are really weird. We're going to add these to your sheet as well. But before we do that, we're going to practice a few of those that we learned today. All right, yo with pedir. Yo with pedir becomes pedí. All right. It is an E to I stem changer, but remember, not in the yo form. Okay. Ella with servir. So instead of saying servio, remember, we're going to have that stem change and we're going to make it sirvió. Nosotros with repetir. No stem change. Repetimos. Ellos with vestirse. I put the se there for you, so you only have to do the vestir. Now remember, you would normally want to say vestieron, but in this case, it's going to be vistieron. You're going to have a stem change. Tu with pedir. Pediste. That's normal. And Pablo with repetir. You would want to say repetio, like that. But since it's a he or she, you're going to have that stem change. Repitio. Yo with dormir. Why don't you pause the video and see if you can try these? These are the O to U stem changers. Pause the video and then check your answers. Yo with dormir. This is going to be normal. Dormi. Ella with morir. Now you would normally want to say murió, but it is a stem changer in the ella form. It's going to become murió. Murió. Nosotros with dormir, that's going to stay normal. Dormimos. Ellos with dormir, you would want to say dormieron, but we're going to have that stem change. Durmieron. And tú with morir, moriste. All right. All right, now we have the I shies. So these, remember, are very weird. Yo with creer, you're going to have creí with an accent. That's normal. Nosotros with leer, you're going to get leímos. Normally we would just say that, but because it's an I shy, we have an accent. Leímos. Ellos with creer. Okay, this is where we're going to have an I shy. Normally you would have creyeron like that, but I between two vowels becomes shy and you get creyeron like that. Tú with leer, normally you would have leíste, but because it's an I shy, you have an accent on that one, leíste. Pablo with creer, again, normally you would have crey, E-O, like that. However, because the I gets shy, you have creyó, like that. And vosotros with leer. Leer, normally you would have leístes, like that. However, because it's an I shy, you're going to have an accent mark on there. Leístes, like that. All right.